Air policy got lifted.
Yeah. Oh, dude. You know the first guy I was thinking about the facial hair was Johnny Damon.
Yeah.
That was the first when I heard that I was like, they made Johnny. That made me so mad when Johnny Damon went to the Yankees after being a Red Sox legend. I mean, I don't even know if he's considered a Red Sox legend anymore because he went to the Yankees. But that was upsetting. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Beers by the Ivy. We're doing an impromptu one on a Saturday. We're gonna talk through hockey, little spring baseball, Matt Stafford trade, NFL stuff, the whole 9 yards. But please consider subscribing, everybody. We are at the low part in sports, so yeah, please consider subscribing. I'm still bringing in content, trying to make it energy, but yeah, we're doing our best. College football season's over. It's tough, I know, but hey, guys, what are we doing? Baseball season is on the rise. Jake, what's up?
Like, share, subscribe, guys. Thanks for joining in.
Please,
This is that
please.
weird, that kind of weird time of the year where it's like you can watch NBA, college basketball. I really start paying college basketball attention, like, March Madness tournament.
Yeah.
Um, Thankfully, UFC is like my savior this time of the year. So I'm a big UFC guy, and this is where they really start like, every single weekend there's a fight card on. So that's like my saving grace, like kind of sports downtime. But I need those like football and baseball. Those are my two
I know,
like my
dude.
two bigs. So I need those in my life.
Like, I'm a diehard Penguins fan, but they suck. Like, they got their ass kicked today. I'm watching the game. It's like 7-2. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
we're
that
not the
wasn't
same.
great.
We're not the same. So yeah, you know what I actually been watching a little bit? Am I not echoing at all? Are you sure?
No, I'm good on my end.
Really? Oh, geez, I feel like
Mhm.
I'm echoing. It's because I had this bed in here. That's the problem with audio, dude. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I've been watching old WWE again.
On
Dude,
Netflix,
yeah,
WWE on
dude.
Netflix.
It's kind of hype. I'm actually getting into some storylines, and now I kind of know who's who again.
Yeah,
So Triple H is now running the show, calling the shots, so it's interesting. So yeah, that's what I watch on Monday nights now.
that's cool. I get my
Because
like
football.
the Pat McAfee show obviously does their summary of it, each individual episode and everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's where I kind of get my summary from. But
because
I've been
we,
tempted, but dude, I dove in so deep last time when I watched it that I don't want to do that again.
it's awesome, dude. It is really. I mean, it's. I don't know if it's as good as when we were kids, but it's definitely better than it was like 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, I think WWE is different, like as a kid though too. Like a kid versus
Oh
a full-grown adult. Like dude, we used to be so hyped up about
yeah. I
WWE way back then.
This summer I got like we got like Peacock for like $20 for the year because like my dad wanted to watch like the golf or like the US Open or something was on it. So this
Yeah.
summer for some reason I went back and watched like old JBL versus
Oh
John Cena.
man.
Dude, JBL was like the greatest like villain like on the mic talking shit to the crowd of all time.
Yeah, I'll go through like spurts and times like on a weekend where I'm just like not really doing anything. Or like realistically, when MLB The Show comes out and I'm just like grinding offline challenges, like on my computer on the background, I'll have on like old DX videos of like Triple H and Shawn Michaels just
That's
roasting
awesome.
people. Love it.
Dude, that's some of the best like TV. I don't know, there's something about back then. They would just say whatever. It was awesome. But yeah,
Oh,
you know what? Good point on that video game. I've always wanted to play the show, but I've never gotten the game. Do you get it every year? Like, is it that good?
so when it moved to Xbox, I got it for the first time.
Okay.
Because obviously they were PlayStation only for so long. I think they moved to Xbox in like 2021, I think, something like that. But since I bought that first, dude, I'm addicted. Now I'll stop like World Series about there is when I kind of like take a break from playing it, but the new game comes out here in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. And unfortunately, probably not going to be in the area to play a whole lot. But like as soon as I get back, it's going to be game on. I love the show. I
It's
play the show religiously, like
is it
literally the first like
online
2 months
or
after it comes out, I'm just nonstop.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I always thought it'd be cool to get the game, like play with Babe Ruth or somebody like that. I
Yeah, that
I
was
wish.
who you unlocked if you collected every single card because like and I played a lot of sports games like I've been playing NHL 25 a lot
Oh
recently.
yeah, yeah.
But like
That
in
was
terms of
always
like the
great.
ultimate teams that you can get, MLB The Show just has the best one by far. Diamond Dynasty and MLB The Show is undefeated. You can put just a little bit of time in and still unlock enough to feel like you're not just wasting your time. Like if you're playing Madden Ultimate Team, you're literally sitting there for like a whole entire day trying to unlock like one card with all the challenges. It's not fun.
Yeah, I think it's kind of I never really liked Ultimate Teams. I just felt like they were all schematically trying to get money from people. You know the game I really like? I'm a big golf video game guy, and
Yeah.
I thought the new EA Sports that came out like 2 years ago was pretty awesome. That's the last game I bought,
Yeah.
but I really like golf video games.
I've got Xbox Game Pass and they had a it was whatever last year's game was. And that is just so like I turn on the hardest difficulty, I turn off all like the cheats and everything and I'm like normally you're only supposed to repeat this tournament like twice to like get into the PGA, but I'm on like my 15th try, so I
Dude,
just
that's
go on there and I shoot like a +8 and I just have fun and it is what it is.
I play on arcade mode, so I play
Oh
on
yeah.
heights. Yeah, I like the unrealistic golf. I like where I can spin it, 10 yards on a green. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're trying to
Just
shoot at 18 every time you play.
yeah, no, just something like that, But like I make it so like they score too. Like there's rules about like you can do
Yeah.
like the computer scoring and put it like aggressive, and then like like everyone's gonna shoot like X amount of under.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just different. I don't know, but yeah. All right, what's going on in the world of sports? I think NHL was obviously taking the world by storm. I grew up playing hockey, so I've been close to the league for pretty much my entire life as being one of my mainstay sports that I watch. And yeah, I think the NBA has been obviously in America has always been over the NHL, but it's just so good for once to just see the NBA just get smashed and the NHL be what it is and what it's always been, which is a tough fighting league and guys play full go, no sitting out. Like Sid played today and he was hurt during the entire series and he just played today. Like everyone's playing today and most of those guys were hurt. So I just love seeing that, the intensity. Oh, yeah, USA lost, but yeah, Jake, I want to pause. What are your thoughts, initial thoughts, I should say?
I think something like that is a really bad look for other leagues. The Four Nations face-off was an absolute smash fest. Number one, I'll watch Team USA anything, like whatever chance I get. I do not care. Like women's basketball, Team USA, cool. I'll throw it on and root for Team USA. Couldn't name any of the players, but it is what it is. At least in NHL, I have that sense of like, okay, yeah, I know who McJesus is. Like,
Right.
makes sense why he scored the game-winning goal in overtime. But the the fact that they had absolute like star power on both sides in the regular season, and the first time Canada and USA played each other, like Kachuk laid some hits down on people that even the announcers were like, I mean, these guys still have a regular season to play, and then some because of this like the halfway point in the hockey season.
Yeah, it was for the All-Star break. Instead of doing 1 week, they did two, and they put this in.
Yeah, so they're going, full on balls to the wall. I absolutely love that. I think anytime you compare nations like that, like think back, World Baseball Classic was, I mean, in my opinion, one of my favorite baseball events, and I just watched my team go to the World Series. So, I mean, watching the World Baseball Classic and having USA face off against Japan in the finals, that was one of my favorite like sporting events I've seen recently. Um, NHL absolutely killed it, and I hope that every single like major sports league, I mean, minus MLB, I really like MLB All-Star Weekend. I think they do a really good
Yeah,
job,
I did too. MLB has been the only All-Star game that was ever been like worth watching.
Yeah, like
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I
It's like,
used to watch the Pro Bowl too when it was an actual football game.
yeah,
When you had Sean Taylor laying out punters,
that was
like
nuts.
that. Yeah, that's a game. But now it's like touch football.
Yeah.
It was really cringy to see any of the stuff from the NFL.
Yeah. We'll see what the NHL does because I don't think they're supposed to do it next year. I think it's
Yeah,
like every 2 years and then the Olympics or something, or unless there's an Olympic year or something like. But it was such a success. Maybe they do it. They didn't include Russia, and for the record, Russia would have been absolutely nasty. They would have,
disgusting.
I mean, they would have been unbelievable this year. So they put Finland, who was definitely tier two. But if you put Sweden, United States, Canada, and Russia, I mean, that would be even a better tournament. And I love the United States versus Russia. I mean, that's honestly sounds more competitive than Canada. So
Yeah. And I think there's ways you can expand it too. just to make it, even more teams. And you could do this with all the leagues. Like you could do this with the NBA.
NBA All-Star Game needs to do this. They need to do the exact same
Absolutely.
thing. One game though, only one game.
One
And
game.
then you just ask who wants to try, and whoever wants to try is on the court. I mean, that
Yeah.
honestly, that All-Star game where you have the Generals versus the Globetrotters format, where you have these like 20-year-olds versus like the best of the best, like the NBA All-Stars, was such an embarrassment. Like, just I was like, how are basketball fans even enjoying this? Like, I
Yeah.
just thought it was like, hey, your key guys don't want to try at all, so we're gonna bring in rookies to try to embarrass them so that they have to try, and then we're gonna have a 40-point game with the best players in the world at the end. Just a joke. And then hockey guys are like literally playing through injuries, um, and it's just for an exhibition game at the end of the day. So holy cow.
I mean, you have LeBron James announcing 45 minutes before the game that he's going to sit
Dude,
out
he's
to
such a
nurse a foot
loser.
injury.
I
That dude
honestly think
is,
he's the biggest loser, and I always thought that. And I go ahead. I'm
he's just a cuck. I hate LeBron James. I can't stand LeBron James.
he's dude. Like when Michael was in the league was tough. It was strong and it was intense. LeBron, weak, docile, gamma.
Yeah.
You know, like every honestly, I just like everything that's on the left right now is what LeBron James is. And I don't think and LeBron James gets such good media about how good of a person he is, and I just doubt it.
I
I
mean,
doubt it.
even if he is a great person, cool, by all means, be a good. But the bottom line is the NBA used to be fun to watch. When you had, the All-Star team, and I was talking to one of my buddies about this the other day because we were playing
Mm,
NBA 2K, the new one.
mm.
And you had all the all-star players out there lined up, in their respective uniforms and jerseys, Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like everybody out there. That all-star game used to be so fun to watch because they tried. The
Yeah.
freaking total score wasn't 250 plus. It,
No, I
it would
mean,
be in like the 180 range, 190.
yeah.
But they actually played defense. They actually made it like an affair. This is just a glorified shoot around with like
It's so
10 people
bad.
on the court.
It's so bad. I went, it was in Indy last year, so I went to the shoot around because I didn't want to like spend the money on like a real ticket, but the shoot
Mhm.
around was like, I don't know, $20 to $40 or something.
Mm.
And there wasn't much difference between the shoot around and the actual game last year. And the
I
dunk
mean, what
contest sucks too.
what are you gonna do? The 3-point contest is cool. I was watching some of the videos of like uh I think it was 2017. They had Kevin Hart and like Draymond Green do like a 3-point contest with each other. But then like the real contest was like obviously the one where Steph and Klay Thompson were going crazy. That's like the only staple of NBA All-Star Weekend that like needs to stay. Other than that, all the other shit can go. I don't care. The skills competition sucks. I don't care to watch that.
I think for me, like I was gonna make a video about this, I just didn't because I had to put out a Cubs video because we gave away Canario for nothing. That's a whole. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think the difference between the NBA and the old NBA is America wants physicality
Yeah,
because
for sure.
America believes that physicality equals toughness, and new NBA is trying to tell you that endurance and athleticism and like skill equals toughness. And the American population still believes that physicality equals toughness. That's why they like the fights in the NHL. That's why they like Brady Kachuk, drilling Drew Doughty twice in a game. Like that's why people love the National Football League because it's a toughness, it's physical. And that's what the NBA isn't, and that's why the ratings are down. If you brought back the hand jack and you brought back, hey, like if you, to get a tech, you gotta like almost punch someone in the face, then the league would immediately skyrocket.
Dude, game one, USA versus Canada, three fights in the first 9 seconds. That was one of the most electric things I've seen in sports all year.
Bro, I couldn't believe it, honestly, because like I had a busy work day that day, and I was like, oh, I gotta go watch
Yeah,
that
me
game.
too.
And I have like a passion for United States hockey. One, because I got to be part of it when I was younger, and then like I just always have. Like one time, I got a story for you. In high school, senior year, it was the 2014 Sochi Olympics for me. I just got a job, and it was like at a tennis place, like doing maintenance stuff and just like running the courts to make sure they're clean and all that. And TJ Oshie, I watched the I had like a TV like in the break room and I just wouldn't leave the break room. And I was like, you guys can fire me. Like I have to watch this. So I'm watching the game, and then it goes to overtime. I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking leaving the break room. TJ Oshie, have you ever seen TJ Oshie's like shootout where he
Yeah.
like they send out Kovalchuk, Datsuk, Evgeny Malkin, and we just keep sending out. That's like some of the greatest shootout goal scorers of all time in the NHL, all Russian, right? And we just keep sending out to TJ Oshie. Oh my God. So
Mhm.
yeah, I've always loved, of course, the movie The Miracle, 1980. Um, so to just see that fight, those three fights, I was like on a fucking rocket ship.
Yeah, for sure. That's a that little mashup they did with the Miracle, but then like current
Yeah.
they had the
Yeah.
Kachuk brothers like featured in there. Jake Gensel was featured in the video like beforehand. I was like,
Yeah.
this is electric, and if we win, this will be like an all time great, little
Yeah.
ESPN like quick cut. But
Oh man, I know. It's just I kept saying like beating Canada is so difficult because they like are such a systematic offense and they're just so good. They're just like God, they're good.
I mean, they have arguably the greatest goal scorer, in the league right now.
They have the three best players. They have the oldest best player and the youngest best player and like the in-between best player in terms of age.
Yeah.
You
I,
know?
I think that there's ways that it could have like fallen out to made it even look like they could have been deeper. There
Yeah.
was a couple people that didn't play, but it is
Yeah, there was a couple people that didn't play.
it is what it is at the end of the day.
Hey, you know what it is? I think everyone's just happy that hockey is like got some cool notoriety. In today's games, honestly, like Detroit, Wild, Wild came back and won in overtime. I'm a diehard Marc-Andre Fleury fan. He's like my favorite player all time. He's on the
Yeah.
Wild, so he had a great game today. And then of course the Penguins just got their ass kicked. But the whole league is in good shape in terms of if an average person watches the NHL, they're going to enjoy the speed and the skill and still the toughness.
It's a really good in between, and it couldn't have happened at a better time too. There was nothing else on TV, so what else are you gonna watch? It's Thursday night. There's no Thursday night football to contend with.
No?
MLB season's not underway yet. Basketball, I think basketball is still on their break at that time,
Yeah, it
or
was the same
or was the
time,
All
yeah.
Star game that night as well?
It was that night as well. Yeah, it was a skills challenge. Skills
Oh, they
challenge
got
that night.
blown out. There was no way.
Yeah, it
Absolutely
was the skills
not.
challenge that night.
The only people who are watching the NBA Skills Challenge are the people who had money on the Skills Challenge. And if you're betting on the Skills Challenge, you need to call 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm telling you right now, because that's the gambling helpline. They'll get you what you need. Do not bet on the Skills Challenge.
Did you bet on any of the hockey?
No, I did not. I wanted to enjoy it. So a
Okay.
lot of the stuff like Team USA stuff, unless it's like
Yeah.
the Olympics, I got a couple people I bet on. My father-in-law coached. Oh man, what's his name? I think his name is Grant Holloway,
Hmm.
the hurdler that we have for
Oh,
Team USA. He
okay,
coached
cool.
him when he was playing junior pee wee, like pee wee football, because he coaches Pop Warner football. He used to like way back in the day.
Yeah.
And he was like, that is by far like the fastest like kid I've ever had on any team ever. So like anytime he comes on, he's always like, oh, this is Grant, this is Grant. So like, I throw money on it to have a little bit of extra excitement. He coached Percy Harvin like way back in the day.
Jeez, okay, yeah,
So
he's one of the fastest players ever
yeah, he said
in the
that Percy had
NFL.
that breakaway speed on the field that like you couldn't even like they literally had plays designed just give the ball to Percy on the end around and watch him score. Like that was the play.
That's
So
crazy. Yeah,
yeah, I couldn't imagine being that fast.
I know some of those dudes, like the Hesters of the world, like those guys are just at a whole nother level of acceleration.
Yeah. You know what I think we need to do? And this is maybe a hot take for me or
Yeah.
anybody in general. Ban smartphones at the Super Bowl.
Okay, all right, that's all right. Hot
We
take.
lost the camera flash moment.
So what was that? Was it the media? Because like not everyone brought their cameras. Was it just the media section? Was that what that was?
I don't know, but I was
Like how
watching a
did that become?
video. This was specifically highlighting Devin Hester's open,
Oh yeah,
against
yeah,
the
yeah.
Colts. And you see it, and it's just nothing but camera flashes going off, around the state. We don't have that anymore. That is
No.
so insanely epic. And baseball's the same thing. Baseball opening pitch, Yankees versus Mets, World Series, first at bat, Derek Jeter, by the way.
Yeah.
Home run, cool. that's a statement. And we don't have that anymore because it's just everybody with their smartphones out, and nobody's living in the moment like they used to, or like they
I know.
could be.
I
So
try to
I
remind
mean,
myself just do that. Like so I'll be watching a TV show and I'll also be looking at my phone at the same time. And I'm like, just watch the TV show.
I've got certain TV shows I'll watch. I put it all down, but it's the point of it, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, I like that though. It's like concerts too. My sister's
Yeah,
husband, when John Mayer like lost his voice, he was like out in Montana and he was like, I don't know, it was like building it back with doctors or something. But right before he kind of came back, my sister's husband was like at a bar in Montana and in walks John Mayer. Actually, no, hold on. Some guy came up to them, hey, if you want to stay, you got to give up your phone and put it in this basket. And they didn't tell him why. And they like did it, and boom, John Mayer walks out with a guitar and plays like a set.
that is so cool.
I mean, like in a shitty like Minnesota small town, like fly fishing town bar.
That is so fucking cool.
I know, dude. I know he's got a couple of those like crazy experiences like that, but I mean that's like nuts.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. I could not
I mean
imagine.
he's literally one of I play guitar like he's one of the greatest guitar players of all time, and he's
Absolutely.
10 feet away from you on the same level of ground. It's just wild.
Just someplace you never expect them to be.
Yeah, I know. Like, holy cow. But like, what's funny? Like back then, it's probably so much easier to like give up your phone. Now people would be like, no, I gotta keep it.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Everybody's
know?
addicted to it. I mean, my phone, I keep it on pocket most times. I'm scared for it to break. It's got like, the case has like six different cracks in it. Kind of nursing this case till it
What kind
like
of case do you have?
I got an OtterBox, my boy.
Oh, okay. Well, like I have like spec, and they like if you send them a case, or you can get a new case. You just gotta submit a request. It's like a lifetime
Oh, really?
warranty. Yeah.
I
I
mean, this
bet.
thing's good. It's just like, if it falls out of my pocket on the ship is so rough that it just like that shit breaks, man.
Yeah, dude. My phone. I don't know why, but the back cracked, and I had a case on it. I was like, I didn't even remember dropping it. It's like I must have like knocked it against something. But what are you gonna
What are you gonna do except
do?
buy one shit?
I know, but they're so expensive. But yeah. All right, dude, I gotta talk about Stafford real quick because he's like one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. If
Natty Ice.
Oh no, Matty Stafford. Matty Ice is Ryan, right?
Matty Ice is whoever you want him to be. I fucking hate Matt Ryan. I had a Matt Ryan card because when he got traded to the Colts, I was like, I got to get a Matt Ryan card to show off. And it was a numbered, there was out of 499. I'm just telling you right now, if you have one of those cards, it's now numbered to 498 because I burned the absolute shit out of mine. I did not want that thing in my personal collection. It was never going to be displayed again. Its resale value was like 15 cents. I don't care. I hate Matt Ryan. I don't like listening to him on when he's commenting games. None of that.
Yeah, well, words of advice for the listeners and everyone. Just quit when you're ahead because you don't want to have that year where you just look terrible because that's what sticks with everyone.
Adam Vinatieri,
Same
Matt
thing. Like
Ryan.
honestly, Drew Brees, I don't think of him as like the, you know, guy who's like slinging it between all the corners and the linebackers. I think of him as like the old guy.
Michael
Tom,
Thomas. I don't think of him as an elite receiver. I think of him as a guy who's been nursing a toe injury for 4 years.
exactly. So I think quit when you're ahead, or when you win a Super Bowl, like Manning. Peyton Manning. He was old, but he won a Super Bowl, so cool.
Yeah, he called it. This is the right time.
So right time. But yeah, I hope we'll see what Stafford goes. But I think it's crazy the Rams are going to get rid of him because I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So
So what's the contingency here? Because the Rams obviously, I think they're a very good team. They were just in the NFC Championship.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's rumors that he could go to like New York or like one of these teams that's like in a high draft pick, top 10 draft pick, but that's all I know is he was upset when they got rid of or they're allegedly getting rid of Cooper Cup.
And I mean reasonably so. If I was the quarterback, I would want Cooper Cup and Puka Nacua.
Right. So I think that kind of upset him, even though I'm pretty sure they still have Cup. Um yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised they're not just running it back, but I understand both those receivers are the same. But yeah, I just wanted to pretty much say that we got to be on the lookout for what happens with Stafford. Um,
Yeah, I just looked it up. He does not have a no trade clause written into his contract either, so he literally could go anywhere.
dude,
Because
Colts,
because of the fact that I like Matt
Colts.
Stafford, I I would like if he went to the Colts. I'd be fine with the Colts. I think that he's still got some juice in him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I would not want to see him go to a team like the Jets. Honestly, if I saw him go anywhere, it would I would like to see him go to Detroit, go back home.
I know, but they're not gonna get rid of Goff.
I mean, maybe they do. He hasn't look, and I love Jared Goff. I'm a big
Yeah,
believer in him. He hasn't
yeah,
really won anything for him other than having a really good, 2 seasons. And
yeah.
the thing is, there's so much talent on that team that there's probably like 10 other quarterbacks in the league you can get that same result with.
It's NFL is so funny. Like during the season, everyone's like on Goff, and then like they lose in the playoffs, and everyone's like, "Oh, we would trade him. Like I'd rather have Stafford," you know. But yeah,
I mean,
Stafford is theoretically a better quarterback. Like I know Stafford's a better quarterback, but I don't see them leaving that culture.
no, and a lot of it is watching, watching tape, watching the way they play. I don't think that Goff is a bad quarterback by any means. I think if they stick with Goff, they're still a very good team. I still think they're like at the very bare minimum a top three team in the NFC. Like, oh darn, you're telling me you're one of the best teams in, one of the one of the divisions, whatever. Um, I think that Goff can get them to where they need to be, but I think Stafford gives them a better chance. I just think that he's more, a veteran presence, but he's also not old to the point where he's like decrepit. You know what I mean? Like they're not trading for, Tom Brady now.
Yeah. No, I
If
think
that makes sense.
honestly, I didn't even think about it, but I think the Colts should get him.
That's one of those teams that's going to go get some sort of veteran presence. No
Dude,
telling where it's going to come from. And I mean, it's either when I look at the market realistically, it's between a trade for Matt Stafford or Justin Fields. Those are like the only two people I can see them bringing in. They're not going to give Darnold the money that
mm,
he's going to be warranting. Does Vikings even give Darnold a new contract yet? I haven't seen
I haven't
anything.
seen that yet. I don't yeah, I don't know if we're in like in a freeze period of time, but I haven't seen anything like that either. I don't think they are, man. I think they're going with JJ McCarthy,
I was
which
going to
is kind of
say
risky,
JJ McCarthy looked good though.
but it's a preseason game. Like,
Yes, it is.
so you're about to give up a guy who had a pretty good season for a complete unknown with a roster that theoretically is most likely going to be good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. And then how much of Darnold's success was directly related to having Justin Jefferson playing wide receiver?
well, that's just the classic question. There's only been one quarterback in the league who didn't have a great receiver, and that's Tom Brady.
Andrew Luck. Oh,
Oh yeah, well yeah, oh well T.Y. Hilton was pretty good, but I think Tom Brady literally took a receiving core that was like I can't believe they're about to win, and he won.
and they well, yeah,
I mean I know he had
yeah.
Gronk, but like I mean no one really thought Edelman could like be like a guy winning Super Bowls, and he did it. Amendola, uh,
I mean, Andrew Luck tricked everybody into thinking that like Philip Dorsett,
oh
Dominic
yeah,
Moncrief,
yeah, dude,
who's
Luck
that
was
one?
incredible.
Dontrell Inman, that guy that we got from the Chargers in 2019. I think it was 2019.
Oh my God, we completely busted Andrew Luck's career.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely happened.
He
But
he had a great interview on Part of My Take. That was awesome.
what was it about being Stanford's? Was he their athletic director?
He's like their no, I think he's like their football like develop I don't know, football recruiter manager, something like that, like general manager, but like for college
In the
football.
football world, though,
Yeah.
that's cool. I mean,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
he wasn't ready to give it up yet.
yeah, his job I think at Stanford is to like work with NIL and work with like recruiting to get people like there. So
Very
he's not doing
technical position.
he's not doing coaching or anything like that.
A
It's
lot of
completely
prowess
off
in that
field.
position now too, because that's a very critical, part of the market and the way things are shaping out with NIL and recruiting and everything.
Yeah. We'll see who's like we'll see. I mean, I always wonder can Stanford and Notre Dame both be good? You know, it's like usually like there's only so many kids that can go to school both those places and play football. So
Yeah, I think when you look at Notre Dame, they always are going to have that like relatively close powerhouse type,
Yeah.
situation. I don't think they're ever going to win a national championship again, but that's just me, being a
Oh man.
pessimistic
Oh
Notre Dame
man.
supporter.
I
But
I I always didn't like Notre Dame, and then I kind of fell in love with them with Marcus Freeman. I'm a big fan of his,
yeah,
so I actually hope that they win a national championship. I'm actually rooting for that, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. They need a quarterback, so we'll see what happens with that. But
yeah, and don't get me wrong, I definitely do too. I just think that there's that
it's
prestige there
hard.
that's associated with a lot of different programs that have had that. Even if Saban's gone,
Yeah,
Bama's always going to have that prestige of being Bama. Like Saban gave that school, regardless of what happened in the previous, however many years. Well, it was like what 80 plus years of Bama being like actual Alabama.
yeah.
Saban gave that school like its reputation with
Oh,
his.
for sure.
That was the dynasty of college football, and you're gonna want to go there whether or not they're offering you, 1 million, 2 million, through whatever NIL deal that you're getting.
We'll see. Yeah, like we'll see. I think Ohio State's on the top of the hill, and I think Georgia's still there. I think Oregon's going to be great.
Yep.
I think those will probably be, allegedly Penn State's going to be good, but they always choke. So really, can you count out them, in or out? I'm trying to think. Bama's obviously. We'll see if they can turn it around after kind of the, first bad season in 30 years. So yeah, we'll
I
see.
mean, they're one of those teams you think they're like a quarterback away, but then you look at the NFL like, what's his name? Field Yates, is that his name? The reporter,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
talking about
ESPN.
like, oh, Jalen Milroe looks like a generational talent at quarter. I'm like,
Yeah, I kind of
healthier
disappointed
Anthony
me.
Richardson. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he had a bad year. I
Yeah, I did
honestly thought he
too.
had a.
That was not the ideal year for you to be like, I'm going to the
Yeah.
draft now.
I can't believe Quinn Ewers didn't stay in college. Like the Texas quarterback, I thought for
Yeah.
sure he was going to stay in college because now I don't even know if he'll be a first rounder.
I thought for sure he'd stay in college, but then if he was to declare, I did not think he would declare 45 minutes before the biggest game of his college career so far. That was mind-boggling to me. And then they went out and, I mean,
Got smoked.
yeah, that was the Cam Scatabo. Or is it Cam Scatabo? That's his name, the running back?
Uh, yeah, yeah. We'll see where he goes in the draft. That'll be an interesting one, but yeah,
First or second round,
you think
I don't
so?
know.
You think so? God, there's a lot. There's some decent running backs in this class.
Look, if I'm the Colts GM
Oh,
right now,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
if I'm the Colts GM right now, which I'm not, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm not, but I should be. I would trade back in the first round to get a surplus of picks. I would take Cam Scatabo with that first round pick. That kid showed all of the non like tangible traits that you want in a player to start building a team. And then I'd trade Jonathan Taylor.
Thank God. I'm ready for JT to go. I
And I
wouldn't have
love
signed him.
JT.
I wouldn't have
I
signed him, dude. He just gets hurt all the time.
love
It's just
him.
so upsetting.
He gets hurt. He's not that good out of the backfield, like when it comes to like catching passes. And
Oh, he's
people think of
terrible
him as
hands.
like an all-purpose back,
He's
catching the
not. He's
backfield,
just a
running. But
runner.
he's not. Cam Scatabo was throwing up on the sideline and then going back, and he still put up 275 plus total yards. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love JT. I think JT is one of my favorite players on the team right now. But you're not, especially with like the money that he's making and the money that you're like, funneling into him. You're not going to win with him. But there's also that part where you could keep him and you could have a really strong. My favorite thing about a good built like NFL team is having a very strong two back set. So I love the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. That's why I was
Hmm.
high on the Falcons. Turns out I was fucking wrong about that. But Bijan Robinson and Taylor Algier. I think that's a very good like 1-2 set that complements each other. I think that if they got Scatabo, that would be a very good back that would complement Jonathan Taylor. You got that guy who's like speed, shifty, hits the hole, go. Scatabo just runs people the hell over.
Dude,
Like,
I like them like both being on the field at once and putting Scatabo as like more of an H back where he can like
yeah,
motion into like a full back or even like the one back and even put him at tight end and see what you can do. He's like a Bill Belichick player. You know what I mean? It's like this guy's a football player. We'll figure it out.
yeah. I mean, Caucasian. plays a spot that he's not normally,
Exactly.
his
It's
type ain't supposed to be playing in. I
interesting.
mean, did you see the shit about Bill Belichick? The first thing he did when he got to North Carolina is he went to the lacrosse practice.
Oh, he's trying to recruit people.
That is the most Bill Belichick thing I've
Oh
ever
my
seen.
God.
Just let me find the whitest guy who's kind of shifty, and he's immediately going to be our primary wide receiver,
God,
and
who
he's
was
going to
that?
put up 1,100 yards this season,
Who was the
guaranteed.
receiver? Yeah, who was the receiver that they kept talking about played lacrosse? Who was like their? It was the last Patriots Super Bowl. Oh,
For the
what's it?
Patriot, Amendola.
No, no, he didn't play lacrosse. It was another guy. And every single broadcast, I think there was a betting line about how many times are they going to say that this guy played lacrosse.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, there's a betting line for anything, but yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was like constant. Yeah, we got to bring. Or do you want to bring the Trout up, or what do you
Yeah,
want to do?
so I saw a meme of Mike. It was the Angels reveal New City Connect uniforms, and it's just literally Mike Trout just wrapped in bubble wrap. So I mean, that's funny to me because he's hurt all the time, and he's like their saving grace.
No, he doesn't save anything. He's just average, and I think that guy, unfortunately, has made decisions for his professional career that will put him in the Hall of Fame, but it will never have him as like rememberable.
So what are your thoughts on J.J. Watt?
Same thing. I think JJ Watt is oddly emotional on Twitter. Um, like to play for a bad team your entire career, and when you are allegedly an all-time great talent, and to have no fight to get on a better roster is, I think, says a lot about you as a competitor. As in, I think it's a complete negative. Like,
At least you're consistent.
hey,
For me, it's like I love the fact that Mike Trout is. I mean, Mike Trout, in my opinion, is one of the most electric players I've ever watched when he's healthy. When he's not healthy, which has unfortunately been like 60% of the last like 7 years, it is what it is. He doesn't even play and he misses games.
but don't
Um,
you but don't you think like he would want to go somewhere and win? Don't you think if you're a great player, you have like an ambition to go to a team that you can compete for like your own want to be part of the best? Like, do you think Derek Jeter would have just sat on the I don't even know who's terrible, the Twins back then? No,
I mean, if you listen to the naysayers, yeah, because everybody's defense is, oh, Jeter would be nothing in Kansas City.
well,
Like,
he would have found something, meaning he would have been like probably a guy who like A-Rod goes to a new team. Like he's a competitor. Like that guy wants to win. Versus I just feel
yeah.
like Trout is just comfortable sitting on the worst team in the league for the last 15, 20 years. Like it's just I don't know. I think it says a lot about him. I think it says a lot about JJ Watt. And people give Bryce Harper a lot of smack. But number one, his Washington team became great. And number two, he went to the Phillies, who have been absolutely ridiculously competitive. And so, like, in terms of like his competitiveness and his want to win a championship, he's going all out, and I don't see that from Trout.
Yeah. I mean, he got what didn't Bryce Harper get traded that season where they went and won the World Series?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I think it was like mid-season or like right before the season they won. But I mean, that team was ridiculous.
Is
They
he?
had
You're telling me he
Harper.
wasn't on am I stupid?
He
Was he
was
not?
not on that World Series roster. I'm like 99.9% sure that he was not on that World Series roster.
God, now I gotta look this up.
I'm telling you, you only got to look it up because I know I'm right. But
Yeah. Okay, but regardless, so they must have just not liked
so
him.
he
But at least he's
wasn't.
going for it, though. You're right. You're always right about shit like that.
A
Yeah.
Crown Royal brought to you by Colts
Nice,
football.
dude. Nice. Yeah, I went with a beer. Beers by the Ivy. Like and subscribe. Please. Like literally, please like and subscribe. We need people. Um, but yeah. But maybe Bryce Harper wasn't the best example, but it just seems odd that Mike Trout never switched teams.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought it's weird. And every single offseason I go into that was like, well, maybe the Yankees trade for Mike Trout.
Yeah, it's
Um,
that's been a rumor for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of biting themselves in the foot after the Bryce Harper, trade didn't go down, and then,
Yeah.
he goes out, and I mean, there was a lot of questions about like, oh, should they? He's had injury problems, personality problems, blah blah blah. But I mean, when you look back at the track record and everything, you absolutely should have gone and traded for Bryce Harper.
I
Um,
generally like Bryce Harper's fire, and I think that's
I do
okay.
too.
Like I like his competition, but I think he's actually perfect in Philly. I think he fits that city extremely well, and so yeah.
Yeah, he just got the tattoo of the Philly Fanatic on his forearm the other day. Do you see that?
No, I didn't see
Yeah, he
that.
was showing it off for the spring training cameras and everything. I was like, that's dedication right there.
Yeah, he's a little ego filled, but that's okay. I'm about it. Hey, you're a professional athlete. It's competition. You got to be a little ego filled.
Yeah.
Um,
He's probably one of my top five like favorite players in the MLB right now.
he just competes, Like,
Yep.
I mean, he
He's
really
a
does.
baseball guy.
Yeah. He's like a hockey baseball guy, with that competition.
It's the hybrid mix.
Like, if you could still run over catchers, he's the kind of guy that would run over a catcher.
Mm,
You know?
for sure. I like oh man, what's his name?
I don't know.
I'm drawing a complete blank on this guy's name. I'm gonna remember it like 10 minutes later and I like blurt it out.
All right.
There's that I've the MLB's kind of like liking that personality now, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I
the
think
old school, like I will do whatever it takes to win this game and I don't care.
yeah, I think the MLB's shifting to like they've really had a hard time developing like stars and have the stars marketed. So I think they're just developing into like the sport overall's quality has gone up.
Yeah,
And I think it has. I mean, I've really enjoyed just watching baseball games.
yeah.
Specifically, I mainly just watch the Cubs, but I don't know. I think there's a
Ellie De La
baseball.
Cruz.
Oh yeah. He's a
I love
stud.
watching him play. He's so that
We'll
dude.
see. We'll see where he stays, right? He's still in the Reds, so we'll see if he
Yeah.
switches. He could go get some money somewhere else.
No,
The
he
poor.
definitely could. The Reds could get a haul for him because that's in my
Oh,
opinion,
you
you
think they're
know,
gonna trade him?
when you
I
look at
think.
like the metrics and everything, that's a generational prospect, size, speed, his fucking throw power. And then he's good in the field. He's not like one of those guys who's extremely oversized for his position and sloppy. There's a lot of people that come to mind, especially a lot of Blue Jays. Those bums like they've had a lot of big shortstops that have been, they can't make the smooth plays that shortstop should be able to make over the past decade.
Dude, yeah, he flies around the bases too. I always God, Cubs play the Reds obviously a lot.
Yeah,
What
you'll
about
see his
Vladdy?
dreads
Yeah,
flying.
Vladdy Jr. Vader or Guerrero Jr. Whatever people call him. He might switch teams. He's probably gonna get traded this year if they don't get a deal done.
I mean, they should. That's so, like I was talking about Otani and the Angels. The Angels are such a badly run franchise. They just let Otani walk and got nothing for him. So you let Otani, your best player, arguably, because I mean Trout injury, you're not going to be able to trade that and get the same value. You could have gotten so much for Otani if you would have traded him then because of how healthy he was. Do that with Vlad now. Now is the time to do it. He will. I mean, arguably, if he stays healthy, and this is like the if game that you play,
Yeah.
if he's batting 350 around the trade deadline, like massive, massive value. But you're always just one pitch away in baseball. One pitch is all it takes.
Yeah, see, this has got to go into Cubs talk, but we trade Canario. We designated free agent at Canario, who's the guy we traded Chris Bryant for, and it just goes into dumb planning. If you don't like a guy, then make a plan early, know when the person has more value, and trade him. You should have traded him last year. You should have traded him the year before. You don't just give up a prospect who's one of your top prospects just because you're trying to make room for 40-year-old Justin Turner. So to the Toronto point, yeah, if you know you're not going to sign him, fucking dude, trade him now. Don't even wait for the season. What if he gets hurt?
Yeah, that's exactly what you're walking into. And then if he gets hurt and doesn't have that deal in place, he's not going to sign with you, at the end of the season. I mean,
Right.
there's always the chance that he does, I guess, but I think the odds are low. If you didn't sign any deal that you offered prior to this, that he goes out and says, "Yeah, let me be a Blue Jay for life."
He's American, right? So he's probably not going to want to be a Blue Jay for life.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that he's openly said, "I'll never want to be a Yankee. I like killing the Yankees. I don't like. I would
He's
never
not going to
be."
be a Yankee, dude.
Everybody says that.
He's not going to.
until they go to the Yankees. Well, except for Juan Soto, because that guy's a fucking sellout.
It's like Ken Griffey like hated the Yankees because he got kicked out of the dugout when he was a kid.
Boo hoo. Congrats on your zero World Series wins.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know. You're just too big of a Yankees fan, I guess.
I love Ken Griffey Jr. I think that he has the best swing that's ever approached the plate in the game of baseball.
Damn,
The smoothest swing, absolutely.
that's big.
Smoothest, the most beautiful, like easy to watch swing. You know, you watch some of the guys now. Giancarlo freaking Stanton has the ugliest swing. Like if I was to replicate anybody's swing in slow pitch softball, it would be like Giancarlo Stanton. Like, please give me his swing, and I would hit nukes all day, every day. But for MLB baseball, absolutely not. Like that is the most. But I mean, he produces with it, so it is. I'm well. Let me take it. He sometimes produces with it, so it is what it is.
I like that. So how are your Yankees doing on the?
Well, we just dropped a 40, I think it was 47-year policy of no beards. So the players, and that's like the biggest news that's come out of camp recently. The players' guidance that they were given was don't look like Duck Dynasty. So like, we could see very well see Garrett Cole bearded up a little bit, back to his Houston Astros days. He had his most electric season of his entire career, with the beard. So we'll see what happens there. I really feel bad for Devin Williams because trade for him. He shaves his beard, shows up to camp, and that dude just looked pathetic without a beard. So I honestly think that the Devin Williams trade is what made them lift the beard policy because they saw him and they're like, dude, you're just not intimidating at all. And they were like, grow the beards out, let it happen. I mean, that's just me, whatever.
I've
Mr.
t
Jones homered, I think it was 2 days ago when they had their first game. No, maybe that was today he homered. I can't, one of the two. Either way, he's one of like our top prospects that we have. It's looking like Jason Dominguez is going to make the initial roster to start the season. He's probably going to be their left fielder. So our outfield's probably going to be Dominguez, Bellinger in center, and then Judge back
oh
at right where he's normally been playing. So see
Belly.
what happens, dude. I was so excited when we got Bellinger.
Oh
So
my God,
excited.
I wanted him to stay on the Cubs.
I don't blame you. I love Bellinger.
I wanted
Bellinger's
to
got
get.
a
I would
really pretty
rather.
swing too.
I wanted to get rid of Hap, but Hap has no clause. Not that I don't like Hap, but Hap just is like he gets so hot and cold, and I thought Bellinger is just a better baseball player in terms of can play more positions,
Yeah.
big game hitter. I don't know, but
I
yeah,
feel like Hap's got a lot of value too. Switch hitter, plays the outfield, plays the field well.
dude,
Um,
he wins games by himself, but he also like won't be there when you need him. Like he'll win a game where no one else is getting hits, and he'll have two home runs that one game, and then he'll go like 5 games with like utterly nothing. So it's just
yeah,
an odd thing, but yeah, that no trade clause and Seiya Suzuki also no trade clause. So like they pretty much like because of trade clauses, they didn't have much wiggle room. They trade Bellinger, which is
yeah. I
fine.
mean, it is what it is. Who'd you get in that trade? Do you remember? I don't even remember what the
We
trade.
got yeah, we got a pitcher from you guys who was like in the AAA ranks and like I think some spare change. Uh Wait, maybe I'm wrong about that. I'll have to go back and look. Actually, I don't even think that's true.
I'm pulling it up right now.
It might just be money, dude.
I think it was money.
I think it might have just been money. I don't even think we got that pitcher. I think that was
Oh
another
no,
trip.
no, you got Cody Poteet.
Oh, what? Okay, is he a pitcher or am I wrong?
He's a pitcher.
Yeah,
He's
all
a
right.
right-handed pitcher.
Okay, there
I
you
mean,
go.
Cody Poteet, in my opinion, is one of the top pitchers that we had in the minor league system.
Great, I love it. What
He
do
had
you
a
got?
couple games. He had a couple games in the bigs. He looked good. That was one of the moves that kind of surprised me. Getting him for Poteet. I kind of figured to get somebody like that, we'd have to trade like Louise Heel or something like that. But they might have just been like
Oh,
very
so we
strict
got
on like,
shafted, is
hey,
what you're saying? Cubs got
yeah, we're
shafted.
well. No, I'm not saying you got gypped or anything, but maybe they try to push back with that and said we're not giving where one of the rookies of the year.
Well, I'm pretty sure you guys took on his contract, if I remember right. So
Yeah, we did it. Oh, I'm reading this right now. It
it's
looks like
just
you
so
guys got some.
embarrassing that like sometimes I'm like I go back and forth. Like, do I want the Cubs to like be a free agent, like crazy money team, or do I want the Cubs to like literally have like culture and grow within from the AAA level up, or I should say from the single A level up? And I would rather them to grow the culture because those are the teams like I like rooting for. I like the fact that the 2016 Cubs were, for the most part, like Cubbies most of their careers. You get a guy like Zobrist comes in, great, but like for the most part, we had Cubs guys through and through.
Rizzo.
Damn right. Chris
Where is
Bryant.
he at? Did anybody sign him yet?
I don't know. We should sign him back.
Dude, you should. Just for the sake of having somebody in the dugout to like even just reestablish. Can still play. Don't get me wrong. He's not gonna bat like he won't bat above 270.
Well, he's not an everyday player, and that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
he's a veteran guy with leadership, but we kind of just signed that guy with Justin Turner. So like, I don't know if they're gonna add another guy who's like more on like the, you know, off day kind of player.
Yeah. Rizzo's still a free agent, so we'll see what happens.
If we're gonna sign anybody from 2016, I want Chris Bryant back. I just feel like he's had such a bad run of it in Colorado that we could get him for cheap, and I just feel like it would be I would be excited for him personally if he could have a little more baseball in him.
Yeah, I mean that season KB was so fun to watch. I absolutely love watching him that back then.
Yeah, like I have a family member that like knows him. Like I just knows him like and his family on like a personal level, and I'm just like, golly, I just wish he would come back to the Cubs because I just, yeah, him out there in Colorado has just not been great.
Well, it's hard because Colorado hasn't been great either, and they've been really relying on like, hey, let's call it this product, let's call it this. They're calling out prospects left and right, trying to get them to like, see if they have anything going.
Yeah,
The trades that they've made haven't, they haven't hit, and then they've lost some people too. Losing Kendall Graveman, I think that was his name, Kendall Graveman, the pitcher. They lost him to the Astros, so like they lose a bunch of the pieces that they have that are good, and then they're really relying on the prospects. Pitchers don't want to play there because that's just, that is the graveyard for your ERA, is going to the highest altitude stadium where routine fly balls or home
yeah,
runs, and it's tough to play there. So
yeah, it is. But they actually like they have like a really good fan base in Colorado.
very loyal, very
Like
dedicated.
the Rockies, like, and it's a good name. It's a great stadium. Like the Rockies should be good, and it would be good for baseball if they were good.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're in one of the toughest divisions to be good in too, which doesn't help.
They're probably just gonna need new ownership to get good. That's
Yeah.
probably where it's at.
Yeah, they hosted the like All-Star, was it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
And like the home run derby there, the balls were going like 500 feet.
That's what it's about, dude. Wrigley's trying to get it in 2027.
That would
But
be a great stadium to have
but
it in.
but I mean, I'll probably be there for that one.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
so because yeah, I'll probably end up being there for if it's at Wrigley, I'll probably be there. I'll probably go for the home run derby, not the actual game.
Yeah. I think if it went to like Camden Yards or something like that, like something within reasonable distance to me, I'd probably
Yeah.
try and go just because I want to see at least one at one point.
Wait, do you want to see the game or the derby?
Probably the Derby. I just think the Derby's so much fun. It all depends on who's playing too.
Yeah, I think it's one of the coolest like traditions of all sports of the home run derby.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures the other day from that one year where they had Bellinger, Stanton, and Judge. They had like the picture of them like in their All-Star uniforms and like, pictures of them all standing by each other in the Yankees dugout. And like that would have been so cool to see them all in the Derby together because that year was crazy. That was one of Bellinger's MVP candidate years,
Yeah.
one of his breakout years with the Dodgers. So that would have been, that'd have been something like that would be really cool to see. If it's like a bunch of scrubs out there that like, you know, I don't want to say no Yankees because I like a lot of players in the MLB that aren't specifically on the New York, on the
Hmm.
Yankees. Uh, but if they had like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of somebody off the top of my head. Like, I really like Lindor. Lindor is one of my favorite players, even though I hate the Mets.
Silky smooth.
Love
Silky.
Lindor.
Like
Love him.
filthy athleticism, hand-eye coordination.
And I don't think that he would win the home run derby by any
No.
means. So don't get me wrong on that. But he's somebody I'd love to see like competing out there. I loved him when he was in Cleveland. Um,
I,
oh
I
man,
feel like the guys usually go out. I feel like the home run derby is usually pretty solid.
I loved watching Alec Bohm last year too. That was crazy. Vlad Jr. I
Yeah,
think he's got a really good swing. He's fun to watch.
yeah, it's
I think Pete Alonso's a tool, but that's just me.
yeah, didn't they change they've changed it for a couple years, but you used to only get like 10 hits or something. And now then I think it's probably been like 8 years since this has been a change, but now it's like all time based.
Yeah, so it's time based and you get a timeout. And if you hit, there's like a distance based to where if you hit X amount over this distance, you get like 30 seconds added on to the clock. And if you hit X amount over this distance, you get a minute over the clock. I don't remember like what the metrics are off the top of my head,
I
but
mean, at
it's something along
Wrigley,
the lines of that.
I mean at Wrigley you're hitting the street.
Oh yeah,
Like
you have to.
I mean, so many people would be like hitting it over the park. It would be like so much fun.
And that's one of the stadiums where it's not like ridiculously elevated or anything to where you have to like put your nuts into it to hit it that like you
Yeah.
have to fucking swing on every single ball. Like these are only coming like 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, like if you have a good pitcher.
I kind of like the you only get like 10 hits total. It almost is like a pressure that's like that's tough.
Unmatchable.
Yeah, that's like, dude, I only get 10 contacts.
Yeah, to get your 10 good pitches to hit. Because
Yeah.
some of the dudes out there, that one year Bryce Harper had his dad and he won. I think that was in Washington, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but I remember his dad was out there and that's
You
just
know
cool.
what? I'm like 99.9% sure that it was in Washington. So like we
Well,
already know how that historically that goes.
didn't what's his name? Played second base for the Yankees for a while. Robinson Cano. Didn't he have his dad out there too? Do you
Uh,
remember that?
what, that same year?
No, it was a different year. I thought he had
Oh,
his dad out there too.
maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna sit here and say yes or no to that one for sure.
Okay, I
But
thought,
that's
yeah.
that's one of my question marks of the night. I'll
Okay, yeah.
research that one and I'll
Yeah,
get back to you on
exactly. Yeah, I got see that's the
that.
Yankees. See, I got you on a
Yeah, you
Yankees
got me
thing.
on that one. Shit. I mean, what he was probably in that World Series or the Home Run Derby when it was actually hosted in New York.
Well, Robinson Cano, when he left the Yankees, I feel like he just fell off the map.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that's what
Uh,
happens when you go to the Mets. Sorry,
Home
Zach.
Run Derby. All right, let's look this up and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, 2021. I gotta put dad. Yeah, his father.
That's so cool. I can only imagine being in the Home Run Derby and have
He,
my dad pitch to me.
yeah, 2011. He had 32 blasts in Arizona Chase Field, and they were thrown from his dad, Jose.
Who do you go against in that one?
I don't know. Doesn't say.
That wasn't the Josh Hamilton year, was it?
It's Gonzalez, Adrian Gonzalez. I don't even know who that is. Red Sox guy. Gonzalez. But
All right.
also Prince Fielder, Matt Holliday, Matt Kemp, Ortiz, Ricky Weeks, Jose Batista.
God, Prince Fielder, what a throwback.
Dude, he was sick.
Dude, he was
Fat. He
so
was could
good.
not lose weight, but man, he was good.
Prince Fielder, man. Oh my Lord.
I saw a highlight the other day on him on like Instagram or something. He was like grabbing food from a fan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
speaking of, former MLB players who have sons, dude, watch out for CC Sabathia's kid.
Baseball, like as a pitcher, hitter, what?
Hitter.
Hitter? Damn. Okay.
Hit a nuke the other night. I think it was Florida State is where I saw the highlight. Hit a nuke the other night.
Jeez. Is CC in the Hall
Him,
of Fame?
CC?
Yeah, is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Because like, dude, baseball Hall of Fame's like one of the hardest ones to get into.
Yes, he is.
Okay, because I
He
thought
was
he was.
elected in the class this past cycle.
Okay, well, I think that might have made him a first ballot Hall of Famer then. First ballot, yep. First
Yep, he
ballot,
was.
86.8%. Damn. I think you need 75 if I remember right to get in.
Yeah, something like that. And he wanted it to be like his icon or whatever. He wanted to be in like a Yankees uniform.
Yeah.
So that kind of because it's not where he started his career. That kind of sparked a lot of like animosity.
Hey man,
But that's what you're known as, man. People think of him as the Yankees ace, not a Cleveland player. It
I
was
I,
Cleveland,
rem
right?
I remember watching ESPN and like CC Sabathia's going to the Yankees. I remember that contract was like one of the first contracts. I was like, holy cow,
Hmm.
that's a lot of money for a guy.
I need to start learning how to play baseball.
Exactly. Johnny, you're playing baseball today. We're giving up football.
Yeah, that's
Nope.
that's how that happened.
No, yeah, we are football, or we are baseball. All right, dude, let's wrap it up. Jake, thanks for being here. Everybody, thanks for listening. Once again, please consider subscribing. Check out my links below. I got free stickers, merch, etc. Jake and I are both rocking the hats. But yeah, right on, guys. All right, talk soon. Peace.